Hi everyone, it's Jessica Schell, a transformational life coach from Transform with JLS. I've created an audio to share with you today on raising your vibration. This is a little bit about my story in hopes to raise some awareness to get you to want to start awakening your possibilities in your life. You'll have to excuse some of the birds and the heavy panting as I was doing this recording while working in my barn. You'll find out. It's a great piece of audio, so enjoy.
I guess you can say that I started off life with a little bit of a few challenges. I didn't necessarily grow up. I had a loving family to an extent, but my family had a lot of problems. And unfortunately, some of these problems were situations where there was either denial or unawareness of what was going on. A lot of denial. And when comes a lot of denial, comes a lot of limiting beliefs within the family circle. So unfortunately, my experienced a lot of emotional abuse from one particular person, which ricocheted into a bunch of other issues. This, when you're very young, can really beat you down. So in my situation, I thankfully had a bit of spirit as a child, and I continuously told myself that there were bigger and better things for me, and that one day I would live a better life. That thought later kind of lived into more of a bigger picture of, I really want to help people. Because that continual feeling of feeling alone and feeling like there was nobody there for me, I didn't want anybody else, at the time in my mind, I didn't want anybody else in the world, especially women or young girls, to ever feel that loneliness that I felt. If there was a way that I could figure out how to raise an awareness that they were never alone, I wanted that. If there was a way that I could explain to them that if I could change you, if I could help your situation and make it better for you, I would do that. And in saying that, I later learned that you can never change a situation and you can never change somebody's experiences. But you can always help with how people take those experiences and develop their beliefs. So my job here today isn't to change you, isn't to undo your life, redo it, but it's to take whatever you have had happen and not talk about the story till you're blue in the face, but to help you learn that those experiences in your life were just experiences. And I know that sounds crazy, but you're literally looking at the face of a young girl. My inner young child, when I was small, was thrown against walls, called every name in the book by my father. And my father was a man that, regardless, he was a drinker, he was an alcoholic, so regardless of how he was on one day, Monday to Thursdays, he was generally a very amazing, incredible man. And up until I was 10 years old, did I realize that as of Thursday evening, leading through till usually Sunday afternoon, till he passed out good to get ready for his work the next day, often waking up Monday morning still smelling like booze, that my father was a different man on those days. And so I learned to grow up confused. So that created an unstable feeling. I not only had an abuse in my home, but when you're in an environment like that, you generally attract relationships, and I mean friendships or even intimate relationships that end up being very much a negative environment, where this is what happened to me. I ended up, unfortunately, finding myself into some very difficult situations. I should have, I can't say I should have because I wouldn't have known different. But the belief of falling into vibration. Let's talk about vibration. When you're in a good place, you generally attract good things. That's why, when the mindset of a rich person, it's not, some fall into riches and then unfortunately they eventually lose them if they're not careful. Like when people just see that their actions are kind of silly to them, generally it's not that they're silly actions. It appears that way on the outside, but it's actually the mindset on the inside that's saying, the irresponsible, not knowing how to live, just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And some of them love it, and they're like, I don't care if I lose all the money because I'm going to have fun right now. And they end up doing that, and maybe they even attract more money because of the fact that they were having so much fun with it, and maybe they were doing some good. And if it wasn't just for them, they were helping others. And so energetically, universal law presented them with more, and it's perceived by others, the outside experience, as lucky. To us, that's when you ever had just a friend that just seems to have like a rainbow stuck up their ass, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this rainbow up this person's ass, I wish I could have the luck they have. You know what? Sometimes it's just the mindset of this person. It's not even the fact that they have a horseshoe up their ass. You can think that all you want, but if anything, befriend that person and learn from them. Learn the mindset, because they're obviously either loving their life or they are vibing at an energy that universal law just presents to them, an experience unreal. So you can get the example of that in a positive way instead of keeping us in the downplay, because I don't want you to take my experiences as a negative. I want you to understand that you can rise above whatever it is. It's a very hard place to pull yourself up from a low to a high. I get that. I remember when I started having to do cognitive therapy along with the antidepressants that my therapist had given me, because when you go seek advice through the medical system with our OHIP, especially if anybody doesn't know that, our insurance plan that is provided to us through Ontario government, they send you to a paid person so you don't have to pay, which is, people can look at it how they want. And I at the time was like, I felt pretty low about it, and I was like, oh my God, I have to go on depressants? This is unfair. This is embarrassing. I can't tell anyone. And now here I am standing before a room sharing it with you. Why? Because it probably saved a huge portion of my life. For some, it saves their lives. For me, as though I might have thought thoughts I shouldn't have thought at the time, those were my cries and awakenings for the desperation of seeking help. And I thankfully had the power to listen to myself. And unfortunately, some people don't have that power. And that's why there's people like me who need to learn to speak about our story and bring it before people to help raise that potential of how I developed many of my programs. One of my favorite is called Awakening Your Possibilities. But right now we're at another level of getting started, raising your vibration. But getting back to attracting this environment that I attracted ended up being, that inner person that wanted to help. Well, I attracted friends that had drug problems, had molestation in their family, and I begged and pleaded my parents, can I please have this person come stay with us? At least we can provide a safe place. And of course, they'd set the rules, no drugs, no boys, no blah, blah, blah. And some respected that, but then some just became a horrible experience for me in my household, because their vibration was so intense that you really don't know someone until you get in their space. And when they came into our space, I learned a lot of true colors. But that inner child who's always wanted to help since I've been very young may have known that sooner in life had I had the encouragement when I was a child. So this is where you can become a very important role model in your child's life. It is never too late. But by teaching your child the ability to make decisions for themselves is the biggest gift you can ever give them. I'm not saying don't help them and guide them, but I'm asking you to not tell them what they want. Don't tell them they have to go to school. I am a living, breathing example that I didn't go to school, and as I grew and out of my experiences, I started to take some education. I grew outside of that. Eventually traveled to Australia, New Zealand on my own, and you're talking to a girl that had such bad anxiety, I was hospitalized quite often because they thought I had heart problems, which I did have a stress murmur and heart murmur, but not medicated. But I would get such bad palpitations, it would make me dizzy, and I'd get chest pains, and it was scary. And my mother was petrified of me going overseas on my own because of that. Now, I could go on and on and on about my stories, but my whole point of this is to share with you about the importance of raising your vibration. And sometimes you truly don't understand it until you see it for yourself, and this is why I'm painting you the picture. So, in saying that, I also unfortunately got into the wrong groups, and I always had that feeling like I never fit in. And if I had learned at a very young age to listen to my instincts and trust my guts, that when things aren't safe, instead of making myself louder, I needed to go within myself and see what it is that I could do for myself. What did I want? Well, that's easy to say. You know, as a child, you want out of that negative environment. You want out of the abuse. But at that time, some people don't have a choice to stay in that environment. You know, I never spoke up, so I guess I did have a choice, but I loved my mom, and I had a safe house, like a safe roof over my head. And thankfully, my experiences turned I call it my spiritual gym. They turned my life into something that is unspeakable. I wouldn't have these experiences and this knowledge to be able to share with you and truly be of help if I just went off and did stuff. There's tons of people wanting to help people, and they go off to psychology school and come out and they have no life experience. And I honestly, truly believe if you haven't lived it yourself, you can't know. You can have an idea because they understand the psychology and what needs to be done, but you truly learn your life experiences, your knowledge in your life, your knowledge to give by being that child or by living that experience. Now, by hanging out with the wrong people, I attracted wrong scenarios for myself. I was raped at the age of 16. I had trusted so much in people and just believed so much that there was good in the world that I would be safe outside of my home. Because I wasn't safe at home, I thought my safety was outside of my home. Well, I kept looking for outside sources, and I ended up confiding in a man that I thought was much younger. And I found myself in a scenario where this man actually he was not the age he told me. And being a young, naive child, at 16, when you have abuse in your family, as much as you feel like an older person, you are essentially a child. And you know what? What am I? I don't even know how old I am. 35, 36? I think I'm 35. Don't say 36 yet. Let's just say mid-30s. I'm still a child. And I'm proud of that now. You know, I remember when I was 16, if somebody called me a child, I'd be like, I'm not a child. And get so angry and be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And just rebel on that idea. Show you I'm not a child. And then I'd try harder to be a more responsible person. Oh my God, if there's a bit of advice that I could truly give to a child, it's just like, you know, learn your responsibility, but live like a child. Don't dampen that heart. It's so important. And that's why I'm here to try and tell you that all these experiences in your life, in your past, no matter how bad, no matter how good, even the good can give you limiting beliefs because you may have learned that that is all there is. Well, honey, no. Get into that vibration of what you think is good and set some new visions for yourself because it can get even better. It is limitless. The sky is limitless. And what I want you to understand is this. The minute you stop living your dreams, the minute you don't feel there's anything left to live, the minute that you think you can't envision something is the day you will be not alive anymore. Because let me tell you, without a vision, there is nothing. And when people think that there's just nothing more for me, oh, please, stop playing victim. That's all it is. And when I say that in a loving way. All that means is that you're in a place where your life feels victimized. You feel like there's nothing else for you. I assure you, this is a big world. A big world. Your vibration can change. Your life can change. The experiences you're experiencing can change. Even the bad ones, even though you think they're horrible or they've hurt you so bad, we can learn from every experience. That is not a new concept. This is not something new I'm delivering to you. It is absolutely true. And I can say that now because I was a disbeliever, but now I've lived it. I know that literally every experience put before us is a lesson in life. And when you feel that you've failed, apply that lesson that you think you failed at, and you will learn your success. You will turn your life into a whole new world. And even when you think it's gotten real good, the key is to never stop visioning, never stop dreaming. It's not a fantasy world and people say you can't, live your dreams. Oh yeah, right, it's a dream. That word, yes, we dream. We dream. In our sleep, we dream. But we can dream when we're awake too. But the thing is it's always just going to be a dream. And those people that say you can't have your dream, it's because they haven't taken action in their dream. Take action in your dream. These are all concepts, all thoughts, and all exercises and tools and techniques that I have under my belt. I'm here before you today to try and empower you because I want more than anything to see everybody live to their highest potential that they're capable of. And whatever that ends up being, until you feel like, I'm good here, I like this, and you really truly don't want more, then you just need to reach out for a little bit of help because you do want more. You just don't know it yet. Because right now what you're feeling and vibing is really good or not something you're used to or comfortable with. So you just need some help to get you out of that comfort zone. And then once you get out of that comfort zone, and I'm not saying don't enjoy the new level that you're at. Oh, we'll enjoy it and celebrate it. But you can have more. And as much as it might feel scary to you right now, I promise you, the day that you look back, when you get to that start of your new vibration, you will remember this moment and remember that feeling of how many years you felt scared or that you felt hopeless of moving forward in your life. And you will wish you had done it sooner. And that is not something to be angry at. I remember wanting to be very angry about being, I remember when I read something in a Louise Hay book that said just be willing to forgive. And it was, I'm willing to forgive the way you are and willing to forgive and set you free or something. That quote, I always forget it when I really want to know it. When I'm not thinking, it comes up pretty clear because it changed my life. I was like, willing? You mean I'm not supposed to just figure it out? I thought I had to figure out how to learn how to forgive. It's just about willing. I bawled for 3 hours and my journey started. It literally changed my life. And if that is the only sentence out of that book that I ever read, because I'll tell you I never opened it really other than using her body messages at the back of her book. If that's the only sentence I read in my life, in that book, but it changed my world, then that is the best book I've ever read in my life. And everybody that makes fun of me for the collection of books I have that I haven't had a chance to read, all of them, the title, the power of the title, if that was enough for me. I'll get there one day. I will get there one day and I will read them as I need them. And that's exactly what's been happening. So let me tell you something. Whenever you have a thought that makes you feel restricted or held back, I'm good here. Are you really? There's nothing more for me. This is how it's going to be for me for the rest of my life. I just have to accept it. Seriously? Maybe you want to present some ideas. How about we have some shows of hands? What is it that you even though you're not in front of me right now, think about it for a second. Feel free to email me. info@transformwithjls.com. info@transformwithjls.com. I want to hear from you. What are your limiting beliefs? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts behind why you think you can't move forward in your life? What are your struggles right now? Let me hear it. I would love to hear what you have to say. Everything is good. None of it is wrong. None of it is to be ashamed of or feared. I promise you there's no judgment for me. Because you know what? I may be a different person than you, but I lived it. I know it. I feel it. And my journey in life, and I figured that out now, is to learn is to help you learn how to change that thought, how to become the best that you are, the best version that you can be, the best life that you can lead to your own abilities. Like, it's limitless. What's limiting you is your mind. And I want to share with you all that mindset work that I promise you is for everybody. Not just one person. I can think of scenarios where in high school, And I remember listening. I don't feel that I judged it myself, but I was always very skeptical about God, because to me, I was like, if there's a God, how is this happening to me? I don't understand how God would allow this. Well, it's not God that's allowing it. It was me. These scenarios were me. And I'm not saying that I don't go to church, and I still don't know how I believe. I do believe in higher source and higher being, and universal law is a given. But what I do know is that in high school, the story that I'm trying to share with you, I remember somebody, was one way in high school. And then I heard down through the grapevine, oh, did you hear about so-and-so? They're like some churchgoer now. You should hear how they talk. You should hear how they, what they're doing, and it's just so weird now. You know what that is? That's judgment. And in a lot of ways, it's envy. Envy, my dear, envy. Whether they know it or not, that person changed their life, and it's a slight jealousy, whether they realize it or not. I actually think it's bigger than slight, but I'll use slight for some of you that are kind of like, what? Doesn't matter how they talk. Maybe they found themselves. They found something to believe in. So if they were vibing at a really shitty level at one point, be thankful that now they're vibing at a really awesome level. And if that sounds like God, why take that from them? Don't judge it. If it's not for you, don't live it. It's okay. But there's an example, you'll see people change all around you. In this world nowadays, you'll see there's tons more stuff starting to come up on the internet for all this self-help and stuff. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Pick what resonates with you. Just because they sell you on the fact that it's all good for you and this will change your life. If you're not feeling that level, keep looking. All I know is I want to advise you. I know it's not really good to give advice all the time, because at the end of the day, you have to make your own decision. But I am going to say, start somewhere. Don't get lost. Believe there is more to your life. Even if you feel slightly comfortable or you feel fantastic now, you can have more. And if you think that you might be holding yourself back when you think you've got just enough in your life, give me a call and we'll just explore it. And if you are 110% set, this is where I want to be, I got nothing else I want in my life, I don't want any changes, I find that hard to believe, then that's where you are. You can call me for a 30-minute consult. I am here to help you. I'm here to help guide you, to try and help you find the right help that you need. And if I'm not it, that's okay. I might know where to send you. I might have the right piece of literature. I might have the right video that might help inspire you. My job in my life, and I don't even like calling it a job, my life is to help change others' lives. I have a purpose. I found that. People all know me as the horse girl, and as you can hear the birds in the back. You can hear all of me walking around. But you know what? Who says that I can't help other people while I'm doing something else? I'm in my element when I'm with the horses, but I still have an office, which is my home, which is amazing, where I still have client sessions and I help people. But right now, I'm cleaning the barn, doing my chores, because I have given, staffs off for today. And there's no reason why I can't make this for you to help you out. There's a ton of good tidbits in this audio that I'm doing for you, and I'm doing it and I'm giving it to you for free. And if you listen to the messages within it, there is no doubt in my mind that this will help you start your journey. So I want you to learn from this experience, from me. I've shared quite a bit about myself. I recognize that there's some people in my life that didn't know me, and there's some people that know me that well. They saw me, they knew me in high school, and maybe they met me along my journey and didn't understand me, that I recognize will be listening to this. And, maybe if there's a piece that I could say to them now is, I hold no anger, no regrets, no fear, no upset to any of the people I met in my life. They all provided me with an experience to learn from. The only piece that I could ask for, because in my journey of growing up, is to recognize about teaching judgment. Teaching your children to be open and to not judge one another is a really important thing, because you never know who is listening. You never know who has what going on in their home life or whatever life that they are living. You never know somebody's story and journey. And some people can handle some of the negativity that will come at them and some can't. And at the time I felt like I couldn't handle it. But now I recognize as a child I obviously could, because I can stand here today and be so proud of my life and be so proud of who I've become and accept and love the journey that I'm on right now. I have a lot going on in my life, and some people get overwhelmed just by listening to it, but I don't, because it is my life. I've created it and I love it. I love my horses. I love my clients' horses. They do well and thrive here because of the care I give them. Yes, I'm learning to restructure my business and I'm hiring staff, but I still put my hands in the dirt. To some, you'll understand the extent of how much I do that. I don't want to get off track here. I'm just sharing with you my experience, and I am sharing with you my ability to help you. I became a transformational life coach because I want to help anyone who is willing to step up in their life and take ownership, take responsibility for where they're at, and just take radical responsibility and honesty of where they're at and really want to try and make change in their life. Try is an easy word, but taking action sounds scarier, and a lot of people get discouraged on how to take action. And I promise you that taking the action, it can feel hard, but the steps are actually not so hard. And it's really my purpose in life to help gain clarity around that for you and show you that absolutely everything is possible. And when you get to where you want to be, or we can raise your vibration a few octaves, I promise you're going to kind of giggle back at how you're feeling right now, even though it feels impossible right now. I promise you'll giggle a little bit at yourself and realize, wow, that was a lot of time. I could have been doing something different. But I'm going to have you laughing at that rather than feeling bad about that. And if you're not laughing at that, then that just means we need to do more work. And that's okay. And when I say we, I hope that I can be a part of your journey. And if not, I still would love to hear from you, because like I said, I know I can help you try and decipher what you can do in your belief system now and help you take some steps towards where you want to go with that and get you started on your journey. I just want you to know you are not alone. You have the support. And if it's not from me, it's all around you. I can promise that. Anyways, this has been a long audio, and if you're still listening, that means you are curious and you are excited or interested about getting started. And I really hope excited is part of the word, or really just desperate to want to do that. And I say desperate in a very positive, loving way, not a desperation space, if that makes sense to you. I am so thankful you listened to this whole thing. It's amazing that you listened to the whole thing, and I congratulate you for taking those steps of just listening, because you know what? It raises an awareness, and it starts with the awareness. So thank you so much for listening. You're obviously watching this from some source of how I've connected with you. You can connect with me through however you're watching this. My Facebook page, Transform with JLS, you can message me anytime. You'll find some extra contact information there. But like I mentioned, info@transformwithjls.com. You can email me, and I'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in setting up a time, I'll send you my calendar link, and we'll get a free 30-minute consult to help you get a bit of a strategy or breakthrough to figure out how you can start your journey. With or without me in it, please understand this is not a pressure to make you feel you have to come to me. I'm asking you to come to me so we can get you started. That's it. Wherever you go from there is your choice. So I thank you again so much. From my birds that I would love to say annoying, but today I've actually accepted that I think I'd feel lonely if they weren't in my barn anymore after having them for so long. But from my birds and all my horses at my farm, JLS Equine, I say have a great and wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and thank you so much for listening. My heart is open, and I'm here to empower you. Thanks so much for listening.